team. Great rising, great rising. Just gonna give everybody another couple minutes to join, and then we will get started. I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning. I woke up at 3, looked at some of these charts. Again, as you guys can see, there's only a few pairs left for the day, and we'll talk about the ones that we still have on for the day. And see if we could catch any trades. Any specific pairs you guys want me to look at, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. Anything you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to talk about, just let me know. Any questions, let me know. Talk about. If not, then again, I'm just going to give everybody another few minutes to join, then we will get started. Fuck it. Seems like it's just gonna be me. Fuck, man. Alright. So let's scroll up real quick. I wanna see are these guys trading? Are these guys up? Um so let's go down the list. I'm gonna even go down the list of pairs that are turned off already just so we could start fresh. Just in case anybody wants to decide to watch the recording, we'll at least have some things documented. So AU obviously already for the day, still in the zone of consolidation that we've been talking about for the last week. And STP has already been hit. ADR is about to be hit. So AU's already done for the day. AUD CAD. AUD CAD. Let's take a look. Let's do our calculation for the day as well. For STP, 51 pips is ADR minus 33%. It's 34 pips. We already did 35 pips. And we're also still stuck in the zone of consolidation that we've been in since 2 weeks ago. So AUD CAD is already done for the day. We could turn that off. EA, let's do our STP 97, which is ADR minus 33% is 64 pips. 64 pips for the day is STP. That's how many pips on average that price is going to be moving. 64, and we did already 62. EA, this is also a pair that's in an overall uptrend, but we are still getting lower lows and lower highs. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation. At the end of the session on Thursday, price gave us the break. It gave us the retest on Friday, and then starting the market off today, which was last night, going into the morning, price came down already at the low of the day, and we're only missing a pip and a half for price to be done. So EA, we're going to turn that off. We're going to let price do what it has to do. ECAD, as soon as the market's opened with a huge gap and then flew back to the top side, hit ADR for the day, so ECAD is already done. For EU, very similar to ECAD. As soon as the market opened, gave us a huge gap in the market, filled it up right away, flew to the top side, hit ADR. So EU's already done for the day as well. GA, this is a pair that's in peak high territory. This is another pair for me personally that I am not going to be trading right now until we start moving with the trend. Right? Once on the daily time frame, once we see that we're in an overall downtrend, once we can see that the trend has shifted from an overall uptrend, right? Push 1, push 2, push 3. Now, once we start seeing price giving us whether, it's a double top at the highs, a zone of consolidation, a shoulder head shoulder, once it gives us that first push to the bottom and that first zone of consolidation on a downtrend, that's when I'll start trading GA again. Right? And daily time frame, technically speaking, we're still trading higher high, higher low, and higher high. So taking any of these trades down here as a short, there's two things about this pair. So the number one thing, the fact that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high, any of these lows down here could be the higher low point for price to continue up to a higher high, right? The second thing I'm looking at, oh, well, let's say we started the downtrend and we're on a downtrend. Okay, cool. Still, same things we have to keep an eye on, right? How many times has price been at these lows and price is just rejecting these lows, right? So the fact that we're already at lows that price has rejected in the past, we already know that these aren't high probability entries to take, especially if you're looking for price to continue these downtrend pushes, right? So GA, just based off those two things, we're going to let price do what it has to do. Great rising, Albert. Great rising, my brother. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Give me 1 minute. Alright, I'm back. Again, any questions, guys, let me know. Anything you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to explain, let me know. Again, I only have one monitor with me right now, so I'll be going through the charts and I'll be going back and forth from the chart to the chat, so just bear with me. But I will be looking at the chat every so often to make sure I'm not missing out on any questions. GCAD, again, we'll do our calculation with STP. 88 pips is ADR minus 33% is 58 pips. 58 pips for the day is what we're aiming for price to move on average, and we already did 70 pips. So GCAD is another one we're not going to be trading. Again, as of right now, same thing we talked about last week, right? We're in a shoulder head shoulder, price is back at the lows, still rejecting the lows, gonna give it a little bit. GCAD is also a pair that's in an overall uptrend, right? So we're looking for that level 3 push back to the top side, right? We're in level 3, we know we're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. That's what we're looking for price to be moving towards on the daily time frame. Just want to see, what do I have marked up here? Could take that out. Go on to the next one. GJ, as soon as the market opened, gave us a huge gap to the bottom side, and then price kept climbing up to the top, already hit ADR for the day, already filled this gap, so we could take this off. These drawings, we could turn this, we could delete all of these drawings real quick. Go on to the next pair, right? GU, again, very similar to the other pairs. As soon as the market's open, gave us a huge gap to the bottom, then price just flew to the top side, already hit ADR for the day. So there's nothing left on the table for GU. NZD USD, again, very similar to the other pairs that we've seen. As soon as the market's open, gave us a gap. As soon as that gap was made, price went up, and it continued to fly up to the ADR for the day. So nothing left on NZD USD. Dirty 30. Let's also, no questions in the chat. All right. Take some time, look at Forex Factory. We got Canadian news at 8:30. USD, I completely forgot. Today is what, Martin Luther King? Yeah. Completely forgot. Today's a bank holiday for USD, so we're not going to be trading today. I completely forgot about that. All right. So now we know. All right, the NYC session, there's a 99% chance we might not even get any volume in the market, so we'll have to be patient. So US 30 still hasn't hit STP or ADR for the day, which is good, right? Only thing was, as soon as the market's open, gave us a huge gap to start off the week, right? So now again, same thing we've been battling with for the last 2 weeks. It seems like, price has been leaving gaps at the bottom, has been leaving gaps at the top side, and every single time price comes up and fills gaps at the top side, it leaves gaps at the bottom, and vice versa. That's what's been that's what's been happening on US 30 for the last 2-3 weeks, right? So again, we're just stuck in the same cycle that we've been in for the last 2 weeks, right? Whether or not price is going to fill these gaps up at the bottom first to then continue, or for price to come up to the top side, fill these gaps at the top, and then continue the trend that they want to do. US 30 right now is a little bit, I'm going to say a little awkward, just because of how big the zone of consolidation really is, right? So at this point, I'm only really looking at this half for the zone of consolidation, but realistically speaking, at this point, we could sit here and say that we're trading between this zone of consolidation, this entire zone, from the top side to the bottom side. With that being said, again, we could see how price has been rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, coming back to the middle, coming back to the highs, coming back to the lows, coming back to the highs, coming back to the lows, right? We could see how price has been bouncing, right, from the top to the bottom for the last week and a half on US 30. With that being said, does this mean that you can't trade it? No. It just means you have to be a little bit patient, more patient than usual when you're taking these trades, right? It's very simple, right? Same thing we did last week, right? Rejected the highs, gave us confirmations that price was going to go down, and we went down. Rejections of the lows gave us confirmations that price was going to go up, and it went up, right? Only difference was Thursday again. We went over this on the last session that we did, the weekly market breakdown. I got a little nervous. I don't want to take this trade. I don't feel comfortable. But it gave us every confirmation we wanted to see, right? So the same thing that we did on Tuesday is the same thing that we did on Thursday, and it's going to be the same thing I'm going to do today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next week, next month, next year. It's going to be the exact same thing. I'm looking for the exact same confirmations. So right now for US 30, you know, based on the fact that we're in a bank holiday today that I completely forgot about, um, might not really be any trades for the day. Really might be that that's pretty much it. We only have USD pairs left. It's a USD bank holiday. I'm not really expecting a lot of volume coming out of the charts today, so we'll just be patient. You know, we'll wait. I guess 8:30 is the last news. Again, let me pull up Forex Factory again. I completely forgot, right? 8:30 is Canadian news, so I guess we'll wait for the 8:30 news to hit, and then we'll just go on from there. um, yeah, I'm gonna go another week without trading USD CAD because I didn't take the time this weekend to update this chart or USD ZAR. Right, last time I updated this chart was December 18th, so a month ago. So I have a month. We have a month worth of data to update with USD CAD and USD ZAR, but nonetheless, let me find my STP marker. Let's just keep updating this at least. So 50 pips minus 33% is 33 pips. 33 pips for the day, and we already did 34. So USD CAD is already done for the day. STP has been hit. USD ZAR, and that's another thing too, right? On a usual basis, USD CAD, USD ZAR usually move very similarly. And the fact that the correlation between them now has been opposite makes these pairs a little bit awkward to trade, if you will. But again, these are two pairs that, specifically USD ZAR as well. Um, this is one pair that I'm not really currently trading, just based on how we're looking on the daily time frame. Daily time frame isn't looking that good. Nonetheless, 127 pips is ADR, minus 33% is 85 pips. 85 pips for the day, and we already did 93 pips. So USD ZAR is already done for the day. Gold, just consolidating. As soon as the market's open, gave us a huge gap in the market to the bottom side, and then price has just been consolidating at these highs since the market opened. So again, this is another pair that the fact that we have a bank holiday today and price hasn't really given us any movements, I'm not really expecting anything too crazy to happen on gold for the day, but we'll keep an eye on it. Bitcoin, as soon as the market's open, went right down, hit STP already, and then price has just been consolidating. So this is another pair I'm not going to be trading. And then US oil, you know, call me the market makers, whatever. Exactly what we drew out is pretty much what looks like it wants to do, right? Price at these lows, right? We knew that this was the start of a shoulder head shoulder. We were just waiting for that shoulder to be made. The shoulder was made on Friday. The market's open today, and we just keep inducing these lows, right? So again, before I take trades on oil, before we continue to look for those short positions on oil, I need to see price break these lows. Before that, it's either going to be inducements here to then continue to go back up, or price is going to decide to just continue to give us this sideways movement and just be stuck in a zone of consolidation. So oil's another one that I'm going to turn off. And again, we're pretty much left with the same two pairs we've been left with for the last 2-3 weeks of trading, US 30 and gold. But again, we're in a bank holiday, so I'm not expecting anything to really happen during the NYC session. So I guess we'll keep the stream on till 8:30, right? 8:35, 8:40. Once that news hits at 8:30, we'll have a little bit more information. But for right now, that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, Albert? Anything you want me to go over? Use this time wisely, man. Especially now, it's only me and you today. You know, it's a bank holiday, so I'm not expecting. We shouldn't really have anybody come into the chat today. So, any questions? Let me know. Anything you want me to go over? Any questions you have? Any specific pairs you want me to go over? Let me know. If not, again, we'll pretty much just sit here till about 8:30, 8:40, and we'll go on from there. Put a hoodie on, bro. It's cold as hell out here. Give me 1 second. Got any questions in the chat, guys? Let me know. Damn, no questions, Albert? Alright. Man. This is another thing. I gotta update these charts as well. I haven't updated these charts in fucking months. Last time I touched this chart was September. The last time I updated the charts was, yeah, September 11th. So I got a little bit of work to do when it comes to these pairs on this side of things. Let's actually take a look on the daily time frame, see how everything's shaped up. So daily time frame at one point, you know, we started getting our charts ready for this to start being the downtrend right after our three pushes to the top side, but we understood that Tesla was something that was starting to move relatively later on, right? From 2020, we really didn't do anything up until end of 2023, going into 24, right? So the same thing that happened here on Tesla is the same thing that happened on US 30 a few years back. Same structure. It literally looks the exact same. The same structure that happened on Bitcoin, the same structure that happened recently with GBP JPY, where the moves were just too big for us to feel confident in saying that, oh yeah, this is going to be the shift, right, from an uptrend to a downtrend, right? Literally the exact same thing that we're seeing on GJ now. So instead, all of this is just part of the same trend, right? This is just the inducement to the lows, and then price continued the uptrend push. So now price came back to the daily highs. It came back to the 4-hour highs on the daily time frame. Price didn't give us that valid break. On the 4-hour time frame, price also did not give us a valid break. It was just an inducement of these highs. So this could be a really good pair to continue to look at. And then after the inducements of the highs, price is just moving sideways. So leaving us gaps at the top of the market. I'm going to have to reset all of these gaps and see which ones are left. As a matter of fact, let's do that now. So we still have these gaps at the bottom that haven't been filled. We still have this gap at the bottom that hasn't been filled. Perfect. These gaps here, these gaps have been filled. These gaps have been filled. So let's start from here. So this is peak high. So what I'm going to do is just look for the gaps from the top going to the bottom. So we have a gap here. And this is a 4-hour gap. And I'm just gonna mark up the higher time frame gaps. That's pretty much it. We could delete this line. We had gaps here that was filled. We have a gap down here that hasn't been filled. We have this gap down here. And then we have this gap here. I should mark, well, it doesn't even matter as long as I can see them. And we have this gap here. And then these gaps down here. Okay, cool. This gap down here was filled already with this wick. This gap here was filled with this candle. We have this gap, and then we have these gaps down here. Okay. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had high, low, change of character, higher, high, change of character, higher, low, high, low, lower, high. Right at this point, we had high, higher, low, higher, high. This was just an inducement, but since we got a little candle closure instead of just a wick, I am going to mark this as higher, low, higher, high. And then price gave us lower, low, change of character, lower, high. It gave us a lower low, and we're pretty much still trading between this 30-minute high. And again, today's a bank holiday, so I don't even think that on the stock market side of trading, I don't think the market's open, right? We're trading between these highs and these lows. Where price came back to the highs. Let's turn on our session breaks real quick. Do we have any engulfing candles in this area? Nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1. Not a clean engulfing, but it is one. Nothing on the 30, and I'm not going to go down to the lower time frames with the stock market trades. We'll keep that updated. We'll see what price does. That's pretty much it, guys. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to wait for that news to hit. We don't really have anything else. I completely forgot today was a bank holiday, so there's really nothing else left. So hope you guys have a good rest of your morning. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord or Instagram or on Twitter, and we'll go on from there, guys. We'll be back again tonight for the isolation session. We'll get our charts ready for tomorrow, and we'll be back tomorrow morning as well. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. Peace out.